Hi guys, so recently I've had some problems with my exposure therapy being put on hold a little bit. It's kind of come to a bit of a stop. The reason for this is because I've had some people who I'd normally use as, I would say, crutches, in the same way I would use having a bottle of water with me when I do my exposure therapy, or perhaps taking some pen and paper with me to write down some notes, having my phone with me in case I need to take a call or make a call. In my exposure therapy, those crutches really make my life a lot easier. Now, some of my family have recently gone on holiday, and those people that have gone on holiday, I would normally say I use as another crutch. So I use them to help me if I'm going through an anxious time or a panicky time. Just knowing that they're there is very useful. Now, I'm sure some people out there who've got agoraphobia, have panic attacks or anxiety, have had a similar experience with this, where certain people in your life, especially those that are very close to you, end up becoming a crutch. So I've got to the point now, and I've been building up to this with exposure therapy, where I need to try and do exposure therapy when they are not available at all. Take away that crutch. So I'm going to go out tonight and try some exposure therapy without that crutch there. It's going to be incredibly difficult because I haven't done this in about 6 years. But I'm going to give it a go. Now, my girlfriend is very far away. My parents are very far away. So it's one of those ones where the people that I normally turn to sort of help me out when I'm going through a particularly anxious time are not there. So it's time to give it a go without them, kind of get back another bit of independence, learn to do all the driving and stuff that I've slowly learned to do with them there as one of the crutches, and do it with that crutch taken away. Try and walk without that crutch. So I'm going to give that a go tonight. Hopefully it goes well. We'll soon see. And we'll check in later. I might take the camera out on drive with me and talk it through what I'm feeling as we go. So yeah. Okay, so about to head out and do some driving. I'll take the camera with me. Very nervous, can't lie. All the feelings that come up physically are things like jitters. I feel like I need to go to the toilet, obviously shortness of breath. Neck feels tight, and it's going to feel tight tonight. I can already tell it's going to feel tight tomorrow. But that's all the physical stuff that comes with it. It's time to go do some exposure therapy. Okay, so I'm in the car and about to go for a little drive now, and what I'm realising is actually this is something that I haven't done in that many years. That even just being out in the car without one of those major crutches is a massive deal. The fact that I'm even sitting in the car right now is more than I've done in around, like I say, like 6 years or something. So it's really important, to practice what I preach. I always build up to these things. I always say, you need to build up by, like, if you're afraid of, say, hospitals, then you'd go sit in the hospital car park a few times before you eventually manage to, like, walk into the front door of the hospital, shit like that. And now I am going to do exactly that. I'm going to take off my jumper because I'm absolutely roasting. Another thing that I have is, man, I overheat. I get like real sweaty and like sort of get almost like prickly heat all over myself. Like, feels rough. But yeah, so I'm going to take off my jumper, going to go for a drive, see how it goes. Hopefully it's going to go well. I'm feeling good anyway. And then I've got to get some work done when I get back anyway. So hopefully this drive will be a success. I'll soon find out. There goes the jumper. So the way I'm driving right now is absolutely hilarious. I literally just meant to turn on the indicators, and instead I went for the windshield wipers, which is probably a good indication of just how flustered I am right now about doing this. Christ. But yeah, it's a good idea to do it. Obviously I'm going to probably be suffering some consequences from this. One of the things that happens is obviously you can get incredibly flustered when you start to feel anxious, and I don't know about you, but my body just does not work the same way as it should when I'm feeling anxious. But in terms of driving, I am still a safe driver, don't worry. I just make very silly mistakes to do with indicators and windscreen wipers. So I'm actually just going through a drive through my village, which is a lovely village, so it's actually quite a pleasant drive out. It's not like I'm driving through some sort of like rough, unsafe place. You know, it's a pretty nice, affluent area, pretty nice village. So it feels safe. It's nice. You know, and there's a lot of, I'm sure a lot of people find this, but when you are doing exposure therapy, or when you're going somewhere, you feel less anxious. I know I do. If I actually know the place where I'm driving, if I've been there before, it's weird how you feel more at home and therefore safer in places where, because you recognise some, even something stupid like a landmark, or if say there's a shop that you know. It's kind of crazy, but makes you feel a lot less anxious. I know it does for me anyway. Here we go. Now we're coming out of the village. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because I'm about to go on like a busy road, like a main road sort of thing, and that can be obviously something of an issue. That feeling of, there goes the camera, that feeling of like being trapped. I'll pull over and rearrange the camera and then we'll go from there. Okay, just rearranged the camera there. I had a little bit of a falter. So, I mean, I can already feel myself sweating up like an absolute mofo, you know, nervous. But on the surface, I look calm and ready to drop bombs. There you go, another little mistake, just can't find it, grind it. So here we go, I'm now currently just driving out down pretty busy road. So what we're saying is, I don't know about anyone else, but for me, well, you know, it's pretty typical for people to feel pretty trapped if you've got agoraphobia, or pretty panicky in things like traffic jams. So obviously, like things like a busy road, unlike most people, you know, a busy road to someone like us ends up presenting something of a threat, and makes you feel like there's a tiger at your back or something, when in actual fact you're just in a traffic jam. But yeah, so now gonna just coming out of the village, and yeah, it's pretty quiet. I mean, it's pretty late at night. It's actually 8:45 in the evening on a Saturday, so no one's really around. No one's it's not like there's many people sort of driving around at this time, which is a good time to push yourself. You know, there's no point throwing yourself in the deep end, because pretty much every time I went driving, building up to this sort of thing, pretty much every time I would go driving would be late at night, just to, you know, dip my toe in. I mean, it works different for everyone, you know. Some people go to the swimming pool and they jump straight into the deep end. Me, I just walk in the shallow end and slowly acclimatise, you know. I'm in no rush to get wet, because I know I'm going to get there eventually. Yeah, it's a nice English summer's evening. You can smell the rapeseed. It's nice and green, you know. It's nice. So obviously, that said about feeling anxious in traffic jams and stuff, I don't anymore. There was a time when I couldn't even, with someone with me in the car, go to a McDonald's drive-through that was 5 minutes from my home. There was just no way I was going to get into that situation, in case, oh, what if I had a panic? What if I had a panic attack and then I can't get out the drive-through, and everyone's going to be like, what's holding up? You know, I want my burger. What's holding this up? And I'm just there at the side breathing like, didn't even get my nuggets. Yeah, I'd always get my nuggets though. I'd always still end up with my nuggets. So yeah, it's weird, but I'm currently got the same sort of feelings as I would if I was. This reminds me of when I used to do exposure therapy when I first started it, even without, you know, when I very first started going on the car, even with even with all the crutches, all the people around me, all that sort of thing. I'm getting that same feeling, because I used to go this route this same route that I'm going right now, I'd go, but with all the crutches in place, and I'd make sure every time I'd go out, my God, it was like an event. I'd make sure I had the bottle of water, I'd make sure I had my, oh, it's crazy, the bottle of water, the notebook. I think at one point I was bringing like an inhaler with me, absolutely ridiculous, never used it, don't have asthma, don't know why I had it. It was my brother's inhaler, and I used to take it with me everywhere I went, in case for some reason I thought it was like one of those weird safety mechanisms, you know? And now going on this route today, it's exactly the same. It's that exact same feeling that I haven't had in so long, which is, it's really good to have that feeling. It's that feeling of something new, something really, it makes your body feel like I'm in danger here, but it's a really good feeling to have. Because I know, because I've already done exposure therapy, I now associate that feeling with, right, this is how I'm going to get better. By doing this exposure therapy, I know that this is what's going to make me way better, because I've already experienced it. I know that after that pain comes the reward, after that panic, after that anxiety comes the reward of feeling like I'm free, I've got my liberty back. And even doing this today is like way more than I thought I was going to do this morning. You know, I didn't plan on doing this. I just thought, man, I'm going to play it safe. I do not want to fuck up. I do not want to mess up, sorry. Sorry, I'm a bit long large. I don't want to mess up, especially because I've got a lot of things coming up and I don't want to set back before I go to them. You know, I'm going to a wedding up in Newcastle, and that's about 40 minutes from me. I'm going to, well, no, it's about 55 minutes from me. Obviously I've been on Google Maps, I've seen the route. So yeah, you know, I've got all those things coming up, and quite often you think to yourself, man, I do not want to jeopardize the gains I've made in my anxiety, you know, letting go of feelings and letting go of some anxiety. It's been a really hard struggle to get there. I don't want to set myself back just before I'm supposed to be doing something really major, like a big milestone. And yeah, so, but I'm glad I did it. It was pretty tricky. I mean, that was just a cheeky little, I don't know, 8-minute drive or something. But it was a lot more than I thought I was going to do this morning. So yeah, anyway, I'm pulling back up into my village now. And I can feel the cold sweat on me. That was pretty rough, but it was well worth it. I certainly feel more prepared for things because of it. And yeah, so there you go. You came along with me on one of my exposure therapies. It's a real simple one. Normally I can do so much more than this, but obviously just with another one of those crutches taken away, it's just a much different experience, a much harder experience with quite a major crutch taken away. But needs must. You got to do it. So yeah, I'm not going to touch the camera while I'm driving, but I'll just edit this. But yeah, thanks for coming along with me. Thanks for watching till the end if you did. Thanks for listening to my ramblings. And yeah, good luck with your exposure therapy if you're doing it. Leave a comment below, let me know how you're getting on with your exposure therapy, and also if you've got any hints for me or tips, you know, on things that have helped you. Man, I'm always learning, so I could do with that. And subscribe for future exposure therapy boring trips out.